I think I have like an entire army of friends at Delta, like Miss Delta, Mr.
Yes.
Delta, Cousin Delta. You know what I mean? They're all friends, and I'm like, are we meeting for brunch? Hey everyone!
Michael.
Oh, hey y'all! Wait, this is
Hi.
crazy. Oh, this is crazy. This is a little something different for us today.
Yes, this is our first completely virtual episode. And Michael, where are you?
I am in my Broadway dressing room right now. This is my Broadway dressing room slash studio, HypeFriend podcast studio. Okay, that's that is what is happening. There's lots of things around, so it's very subtle, like I am. That's just what is what's.
I love the hints of the genie and the personal touch. I love the whole color palette. Didn't
Thank
you call
you.
it masculine glam? I think you called
Yes.
it masculine glam. I love it.
Yes. What you call me? Yes. Yes. That is what is happening. We are giving you masculine glam fierceness. This is what excites me when I come into the theater each day. So, this is what's up. It's a little crazy, but it's working. We're here because we want to keep this going. So we are you and I, we are making this happen.
Yes, yes. Well, Michael, I think we should
Okay,
kick this
yes.
off and get this started.
All right, let's do this. Hey y'all, I'm Michael James Scott.
And I'm Ashley Eckstein.
Welcome
To
to
Hype
Hype
Friend. Michael, what are we doing here?
Girl, we are starting a friendship revolution. That's right.
One Hype Friend at a time. Michael, I miss you.
Ashley, I miss you. It's very strange. I mean, I have to say, the virtual situation is, it's a little. I'm just gonna be honest. It's very hard for me because, well, I think it's probably hard for you too. We both are
Yes.
such in-person people, so
Yes, very much so.
But we want to make this happen, and this is real, Ashley, right? I mean, like, this is real. Friendships are not always in person. Like, there is so much, especially today, people are so virtual. We are giving you out of town, out of state, out of country. Like, you know what I mean? It's a lot. So I think
Yes.
it's a real situation to figure out how to keep a real genuine connection virtually.
Absolutely. I mean, I think we just found our theme for this episode is how to foster friendships when you can't be there in person. And I agree with you. It's hard for me too because I'm such a physical person. I'm such a hugger. I like go in for the hug whether you like it or not. And I'm like, come on in, I'm a hugger. And so it is weird not to be able to, see someone, touch someone, and just look them in the eyes and be like, how are you? It's weird. I'm like talking to you, but I'm looking straight into a camera. But I have you with me in person. I have my
Oh,
tattoos, my little Michael. But
hey,
of course,
bro.
I have my little diamond Ahsoka Funko Pop too. So we're
Come on.
together.
Well, I need to get me. I need my Ahsoka, Ahsoka.
Ahsoka. I love it.
That's the new. That's
Yeah.
Ahsoka's friend, Ahsoka.
Yeah.
I need my new a little Ahsoka. So okay,
Yes.
we're gonna work on that so I can get me my situation.
I'll send you one. Well, cheers to our first virtual
Cheers.
episode.
Ooh.
What are you drinking today?
I mean, it was a classic iced oat milk vanilla latte from one of our favorite coffee shops. So,
That's
boom.
that's very on brand for you.
What are you giving today?
I am giving just an ice cold ginger ale.
Okay, so all right, so there's so much we've got to do, but I want to get into the hypes and gripes for today because I feel like they are a theme with what we've been
Yes.
talking about. So, what is your hype and your gripe, Miss Ashley Eckstein?
So my hype and my gripe is actually about not being in person, and it's when you have to call someone and connect with them. I'm one of those people where I love a phone call. Like I love to call someone
Yes.
and just connect and just be like, "Hey, what's going on?" and catch up. I mean, a 30-minute phone call. Oh my gosh, what if you talk to somebody for an hour? I feel like that's completely unheard of.
Unheard of.
Unheard
Yes.
of. But we used to do it all the time. Like that's how you did it. That's how you maintained friendships.
Yes.
You know, we've already dated ourselves in past episodes. You know, we grew up in a time where if you wanted to catch up with someone, you literally had to call them. We didn't have text messaging when we were, you know, in high school, and he just caught up. And so, you know, literally my cup is full because I just caught up with a friend the other day. My friend Jeffrey texted me and he's like, hey, can we just catch up over the phone? And I was like, yeah, let's do it. And so I called him and we talked for about 30 minutes, and literally it was so wonderful. You know, he caught me up on everything that was going on with him. I, you know, shared with him what was going on with me. Like I said, we talked for about 30 minutes, and I hung up, and I just felt like I got a real genuine and authentic, you know, a recap of what's going on in his life. But I also feel that that's necessary to maintain a friendship. I mean, Michael, do you do this with your friends?
I love, first of all, this is so old school and I'm obsessed. I am here for it. I am all about it. I want to pick up the phone right away. I am a phoner, okay? Like I want to get into it. And part of it is, I don't know, it's just the talk situation. Listen, I want to talk to, I'll talk to my friends, but I'll talk to, you know, the representatives for any kind of customer service situation, okay?
Oh my gosh.
Like I'm going in.
Not the customer service, because you and I are the same. I'm like, you know, when they say press 1 for this, press 2, and I'm like interrupting. I'm saying representative.
Yes.
Representative.
Yes.
I want to talk to someone.
I want to talk to them. Like literally, I think I have like an entire army of friends at Delta. Like Miss Delta,
Yes.
Mr. Delta, Cousin Delta. You know what I mean? Like they're all friends, and I'm like, are we meeting for brunch? Like what's happening?
Oh
Do you know what I
my
mean?
gosh.
I'm all about it.
You know, you and I are Delta girlies because the first thing I always ask them is, how's your day today? And then it usually follows with, where are you? What's the weather like there? You know, we have to like get into life before we get into what I need fixed or what I need to do.
I love it. I love this hype so much. I love it.
So my hype is that I love a good phone call. My gripe is along the same lines of a phone call, but my gripe is that nobody likes to do a phone call anymore. I mean, it's like social taboo. First of all, you have to ask permission to actually call someone. I feel like it's now become social etiquette where, you know, you have to text someone first or email them and say, hey, can I call you? Because nobody likes to be called out of the blue. I mean, heaven forbid you call someone. Like there's always like this moment of panic of like, they're calling me. What does that mean? So that's super annoying. And especially if you actually just want to talk to someone to catch up. Like, nobody wants to be caught off guard with a phone call anymore. I mean, am I wrong, Michael?
No, you are absolutely right. And this is, but I am here. I am all about the like, just, you know, let's just out of the blue call. So I'm like, for me, I'm bringing it back. I'm bringing it back. Yeah. Like, let's just do it. In fact, you know what? We're rolling up our sleeves because we are going to put this as a mission, as a little like assignment for our amazing, you know, HypeFriend community out there. I want you to just out of the blue make a phone call to a friend. Just do it and see what happens. Let us know. Give us your info back on like how that went. Just do that. Just do it.
And I feel like we need to debate this on a future episode with like Gen Z and Gen Alpha.
Oh.
Do you call someone? Are you comfortable with calling someone? How does it feel to call someone? Is it, you know, like I've talked to my nieces about this and they genuinely get anxiety over having to call someone. You know, do you leave a voicemail? Is it just like totally old to leave a voicemail? I feel like it is, but some people do. I still do. I still like repeat my number, you know, like
yes, same.
Like,
Do you understand? I think I may have maybe 2 voicemails from my husband. Like, I think maybe only 2. Like, maybe in our entire relationship, maybe 2, maybe possibly 3, maybe. And like when he leaves me has left me a voice message, I was like, oh, oh my god, like, oh my god. Like, I'm dead serious. It is so funny to me. So okay, all right. We gotta get into that. I really want to get into that.
yes. Okay. So this we're gonna put a pin in this conversation. That's my hype and my gripe. I love a phone call. I literally, my gripe is that people don't do phone calls anymore. But yeah, so we're going to continue to discuss this
Yes.
in future episodes. But Michael, what's your hype and what's your gripe?
All right. So my hype and my gripe. You know what? I'm gonna say it within the social media, or the virtual world, since we were talking about that today. For me, I'm hype. I love hyping. I'm gonna hype up, when I do see someone on social media, something really good happens for them, right? And I love being able to like hype up them and like do like a full thing of emojis, or my classic MJS yes situation, which is spelled YAAAASSSS. So that's the official spelling. But I love that. Like, I love that hype. My gripe, though, this is my gripe. My gripe is that there are friends who think that you have actually caught up on life with them because they have posted something, a life update on their social media. I am sorry, but that is not a catch up.
Yes.
It's just not. Like, it is not. So that's a very interesting thing, and I'm telling you, some people really feel like I have met someone and they're like, well, did you not hear? And I'm like, hear what? And they're like, well, I posted it. And I'm like, what did you post? Like, that you're pregnant? Do you know what I mean? I'm like, what? Like, what do you mean? Like, so that to me is a whole, it's a gripe for me. It really is. It's like, it's kind of a gripe because I feel like there's this thing where we get away with just posting it, and that is a catch up for your friends.
Social media should not replace connecting with someone in person. And I also think that, this is discussed a lot. What you post is a highlight reel. It's not actually what's going on in someone's life. I can tell you that because, like, what I post is a fraction of what is actually happening. And, you think you know what's going on in someone's life, but unless you actually connect with them and say, hey, how are you? You're not getting the full story.
Oh my gosh, I hear you, Ashley, and that's a whole other episode. We have I think we have 8 other episodes.
Well, totally. And that's something that, we're going to learn on this podcast and continue to learn with our community is just social etiquette. And I think it's hard because it's constantly changing in a world where, virtual friendships and social media is constantly changing. That means social etiquette is constantly changing. And so we just have to learn, and continue to teach each other of really what we need.
It's very important, and you know what? It's actually it's one of the reasons why we wanted to do this, because there's so many layers that we can really we're going to get to unpeel and figure out how that balance for all of us, and including me, including you, all of us. So I think it's good. It is good. It's good. Well, these are some hypes and some gripes.
Yes, they are.
They are.
We have some good hypes and gripes today, and we also have some good gossip.
Ooh, what's your good gossip?
So, I work a lot with the Kids Mental Health Foundation, and I'm a part of their National Advisory Council. And I was recently in Los Angeles where I got to attend a panel discussion with the showrunners, executive producers, and cast of the soap opera The Young and the Restless. And
Oh.
yeah, it was really fun. And it was actually really fun because growing up, I used to watch The Young and the Restless with my
Yes.
grandmother. And
Yes.
so it was a really, really special moment for me. But they were having a panel discussion with the executive clinical director of the Kids Mental Health Foundation, Dr. Ariana Howitt, who she's going to be part of our Hype Hood. You're going to
Yes.
meet her soon.
I'm so excited.
But they actually worked with Dr. Howitt on a storyline for a young actor on the show who had OCD, and which is obsessive compulsive disorder. You know, I feel like in the past, any sort of representation with mental health, whether it's, just general mental health or a mental illness or a mental health disorder, you know, the representation hasn't been great. In fact, there's always been a stigma around it. Oftentimes, it's not even discussed. It's not a part of a storyline. But I really applaud The Young and the Restless. They had a storyline with a young actor where he had OCD, but they reached out to the Kids Mental Health Foundation because they wanted to make sure they got it right. And they worked with Dr. Howitt on the storyline, and she worked with the showrunners, the writers, the producers, the actors, not only the young boy, but also the actors who are playing his parents. And they really made sure to show OCD in a genuine and authentic way. And
Wow.
they haven't gotten any credit for that. I feel like,
Yes.
oftentimes we hear about if something isn't represented correctly, but we don't hear about when it is represented correctly and the great lengths that they went to showcase OCD in a real and genuine and authentic way. So that's my good gossip.
Okay, well, thank you, Ashley. It's amazing to hear about all of that. And that is definitely some good gossip for all of us today. Okay. Speaking of good gossip, oh my gosh. I mean, our guest today, she has amazing gossip. We won't get into all of that, but we want to talk to her. She is an amazing, amazing friend. And I am so excited to have her on today. And Ashley, you have not met her yet.
No, I haven't. But any friend of yours, Michael, is a friend of mine.
I am so excited to introduce to you all our guest for today, Miss Nikki M. James. Nikki rose to fame with her iconic role as Nabalungi in The Book of Mormon on Broadway, for which she won a Tony Award for Best Featured Actress in a Musical, which was an amazing experience with her. She's also done other Broadway shows like Les Mis and The Adventures of Tom Sawyer, All Shook Up, which we got to do together. And most recently, she played the iconic Ida B. Wells in the amazing musical Suffs, for which she got another Tony Award nomination for. Now, besides Broadway, she's done numerous amounts of TV and film. She can be seen most recently, currently, right now, in Marvel's Daredevil. And she is an activist. She is on the board of Classic Stage Theater Company here in New York City. She's an artist who really, really leads with her heart. Please welcome actor, singer, director, activist, Tony winner, mother, wife, and amazing hype friend, Nikki M. James. OMG, I am so excited that you are here, Miss Nikki M. James. Nikki, meet Ashley Eckstein. Ashley Eckstein, meet Nikki M. James.
Hi, very nice to meet you.
It's so nice to meet you, and it's such an honor as just I say a former theater kid, but I'll always be a theater kid. Theater is just in my heart. Man, you are living the dream. It is such an honor, and congratulations on just everything.
Well, but before we even get started, I haven't. Nikki will know what this is from, but this is a little.
Oh, wow. My gosh.
Nikki is on my shirt.
Michael, what are you wearing?
You got Michael James Scott is the most, like, if you need a hype man in your life, if you need a person who's just gonna do just the right amount of extra, you ask Michael to say hey Michael, I'm having a dinner party, and then all of a sudden, you know, like he's brought the like most delicious bottle of wine or the perfect dessert, and like, or you're like, oh, play. Can you host this event that's a fundraiser for like this organization that I'm working on? He was like, yes, I will. I will come fiercely, and I will also put your face on my shirt.
Okay, I want to hear it straight from y'all's mouth about how you met, because Nikki, Michael's told me the story about how you first met, and I just loved it, and it's literally the epitome of what friendship is about. So I want to hear.
Okay, so this is crazy. It was my Broadway debut. It was Nikki's second Broadway show. It was the very first day of our Broadway rehearsal, which, you know, is first day of school. What are you wearing? All the things. Like, oh my God, like I was like freaking out in my head. The little theater nerd in me was like, I get to go to my first Broadway, you know, show rehearsal, and I'm sitting at the we did a table read for the very first day. I'm sitting at the table, and I'm literally sitting by myself, like just kind of sitting there. I'm early. Here comes this gorgeous chocolate woman, little like you. Basically, y'all are literally like the same height. P.S. Just like like here comes this little chocolate gorgeous woman, and she sits right next to me like this, and she goes, are we going to be besties?
I love that.
And thus it all began. So
But wait, there is a twist to the story, which I am so surprised that you left out. Because I actually first met Michael, not when we first became friends, but when I first met Michael was in 2003, so a few years before we did our Broadway show, because you did the Broadway theater project with my best friend, and at the time my roommate Eric Nair, who is my very best friend. We grew up together doing shows, and you came to my apartment on St. Mark's Place like a tornado of the human that you are, and just like big laugh, like big smile, so fun. And I remember thinking, like, who is that person? And that's why, like, all those years later, or a couple of years later, that is part of the reason why I sat down and said, are we going to be besties? Because I already knew that we were going to be besties. Like, I already knew that I loved you. And now I was finally getting a chance to make manifest, to like complete this circle of becoming friends. But this is a friendship of, you know, a literal lifetime. The ups and downs, mostly ups, that we've been through together, and the things we've seen each other through, and like the longevity and the specialness of this relationship is really a testament to who Michael is, obviously, as a person, but also I think like quite rare in this business where it's very easy to lose track of people, and like that doesn't happen when you are real friends. And so, you know, I just, you know, then when you asked me to come be on this podcast to talk about, you know, friendship, I was like, well, duh. You know.
I love that. I love that. Well, Nikki, I have a question because, you know, basically you broke the ice when you saw Michael. Obviously, Michael, I can only imagine how nervous you were. You know, I feel like when you're the new person, especially it being your first Broadway show, you know, like it's almost like being a freshman. You know, at high school, you're not going to be the one to just go up and talk to the upperclassmen. So, Nikki, what, like, is that just like you to just go up and break the ice and say, we're going to be besties? Or does that take courage, too, to go up to someone out of the blue and just say, we're going to be besties? Like, are you just, what is that like?
Yeah, no, I think that is who I am. I'm the person who, you know, my nephew was rolling his eyes at me. I can't remember when this was. Whatever, maybe 5 or 6 years ago. We were walking someplace, and he was like, "You talk to everyone." And the elevator. I love making friends, but I also think that kind of like openness and just like straight to the point, make a joke, you know, like cut the BS, and like the shyness is also a it's like it's a not defense mechanism, but it's the way that I counteract my own nerves, right? Like if we can skip past the niceties and the like and just go to the real heart of it, like how could you not want to become best friends with Michael Scott? And even in all of his nervousness, he has like a light that's shining outward. And so now we don't have to like be in each other's orbits. I really am that kind of person, but I think it's the way I overcome my own anxiety about being in new situations is by just like, throwing myself into the deep end.
That's a pretty incredible thing, especially with dealing with anxiety and like the fact that you choose to go there, that you choose to put yourself in an uncomfortable, vulnerable position, because that's difficult for a lot of people, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I feel like that's a very difficult thing. And Ashley, she is absolutely serious about talking to everyone. We actually live directly across the street from Nikki. And we actually share her we share the amenities in her building, and so our packages come there. And when I tell you, my husband and I will literally like go in and like Nikki is holding court with all of the building staff. That is literal truth. Like it's truth. Like it's actually a thing. It's like
That. I love the opportunity to get to meet people. It creates like lightness in your day. Like there's a reason why I live in New York City. I don't want to pretend to be alone. Listen, sometimes I want to be alone. I would like to put on my headphones and have nobody talk to me and put on my sunglasses. But part of the excitement of living in a place like this is if you can embrace the like congestion of it by saying like this is an opportunity to like have an exchange with someone that will lighten both theirs and my day. And even if it's just like those are really cute shoes, or I love your dog, or can you believe this weather? Like I really, those kind of interactions, whether they be short or long, they enrich my life absolutely. And so it's a habit that I've developed. My mom has it too. She's worse than me.
So Nikki, I have a question for you.
Sure.
Are we going to be besties?
Aren't we already?
I mean, I feel like Michael's right. We are like the same person.
We're already besties, girl.
Okay.
It's written in the stars.
It is. It is. Okay,
It's a Disney movie. We find out later that we're actually like twins. It's like
Yes.
it's something like that.
Well, I actually I'm curious because Nikki, it's one of the things you said, and this is very true, Ashley, about Nikki and our community out there. So Nikki is a straight shooter. Nikki is someone who, as she said, she is willing to go in a vulnerable, uncomfortable, put herself out there to have a conversation and to get things going. But that also is how she, I believe, moves through her friendships in terms of being very open, very honest, and being a friend who sometimes you may not. It might not be the answer you want to hear. Nikki is not afraid to tell you what she really thinks and give you the honest, good truth, right? It's a great layer, right? And so Nikki, I'm curious, like for you, that's important to you. Open and honesty and being real is a very important part of the friendship, the friendshipness, if you will, of it all. What is that? And has that always been for you?
No, I think yes and no. I really hold on to my friends, and we live in a world where like seeing people and talking to them every single day and like is not easy. And what I think, but I want to be friends with people. I want 20-year friendships. I have one of my closest friends is my friend Susie, who we met in preschool, and my friend Shannon, who was my first friend who I came to see Broadway shows with. She was here in my house spending some time with my daughter yesterday. And these are not people I talk to every single day, right? The way you can maintain friendships when where you can't talk to people every day, when you're not seeing them every day, is by ensuring that the interactions and the time you do have with them are meaningful, and that will carry you through. If I'm not going to see you again for 6 months, then I want to be able to be my full, honest, complete self. I also love that I have friendships that allow me to be the different parts of myself. You know, like I can be my like politics nerd with like this group of friends, and I can be my Trekkie nerd with this group of friends, and I can be my like drag queen loving, you know, like pursed friend with this group of friends. I love that the best part about friendships is that you get to forge unique and special relationships with all of these people that get to fill all the different parts of and facets of yourself. So I don't feel like I have to lie about who I am when I'm with a friend or hide what I'm feeling, because I know that the people who are in my life are people who love all parts of me, and I feel that way about them.
Yeah, so it's important for me to have, you know, I think it's some of us who are more extroverted and sometimes a little bit guarded in terms of actually letting our feelings be out there, right? I don't think that people really realize. I think people are surprised sometimes that they may see like I'm a bit guarded with like letting that down, because it's just sometimes scary for me. But I hold my friends in such high regard where I can do that, and I want to do that, and it has been for me years of like trying to be able to just let that guard down, or let the showman, if you will, down, so that we can have a real conversation. And so that to me is when I think about, you know, real friends, you know, it's one of the reasons why I wanted Nikki M. James to be on here, Ashley, because as I said to you, I'm like, she's as real as they get. Period. She's as real as they get.
I would say that the other thing that's really interesting about what you said, Michael, is that part of you, that like wants to entertain and to like, and to be the life of the party is a part of you that is one of the things I admire most about you. And I love being in your orbit when you're in that space. The way people light up when you come into a room with your smile and you're like, let's get the party started, and everybody is a friend. You know, that part of you, I love seeing that. And it's a part that like I envy in a little bit, just a little bit, where I'm like, oh, that thing that Michael has that can make people feel comfortable and make people feel, you know, joy immediately. But that's like the part of you that I love. And then I also really value that I am one of the people for whom you have let down a little bit more. And I don't think I don't know that everyone can see that as like a guard. I think it's like, it's so electric how you exist in the world. But like the more the other part of you that like would sit and talk for hours on Zoom about the state of the world during the pandemic, like that's a part of you too that I feel so privileged and like and really like honored that I get to have both parts of that. Like that's so special, and like I couldn't let you say that without adding to that that's a part that I love, and then I really love the other part too.
It's interesting because like we don't, when we work together, we're with each other for a little while, and then we're apart, right? So Ashley and I, obviously we went to high school, and then we like our paths split, and then we reconnected. 20 years, and we reconnected, and you know, and when we reconnected on a very real level. Like we literally had a lunch, and it was just like we were very open and candid with each other about life and all the things. And it was also during the pandemic, which is also crazy, as you talk about, when we were just sort of like on these virtual things. I remember Ashley, Nikki, and I would be on like Zooms, and or like FaceTimes, and just like talking about what is going on, right? So I'm curious, like because of that, we've stayed connected. And how do you want to stay? I guess the question would be, how do you stay connected with friends who you're in your life for a little while, you leave, and you come back, right? So how does that work? And is it because do you think it's based on both parties wanting to do that, or is it really, you know, does it start with one friend reaching out to the other?
I think that the way you do that is by not deciding that the distance was anybody's fault. Like that the distance was like a feature of the friendship and not a bug. Do you know what I mean? Like I think we all start to be like, oh, well, I haven't heard from so and so for this amount of time. And it's like, well, maybe that's the amount of time that needed to happen in order for the friendship to develop and be new. Like instead of having hard feelings about the distance, to embrace the present. If you've been brought into each other's lives again, whether that's because someone had a tragedy or someone had a success or someone had like an exciting thing happen, or because we like literally bumped into each other on the street, like why can't we think that like the time apart was as important as the time together? And when you approach it that way, which I think I do, I've never articulated it that way, but I think I do, then you have now the opportunity to catch up with somebody, and which is a lovely thing. And instead of oh, well, where have you been all this time? And it's like, well, let me tell you, it might be interesting, it might be exciting. And also like people go through, like we evolve and change. Like when I have a 2-year-old daughter. When my family was starting, I had a different level of time. I had to figure out how to balance being a friend to my friends and being being a mother to my child, and still being a working performer and being a good wife, and so I had to adjust like how much time and what that time looks like. And there are some friends, Michael and Jeremy, who are like, we'll come to you. Let's have brunch. And there were some friends who were like, we're going out, friends, and you don't go out at 11 o'clock anymore. Well, at some point in my life, maybe I will go out at 11 o'clock again, and I will not be mad at those people who I didn't see for the period of time where that wasn't my life. So I think that's how you hold on to it. But that goes back to me saying, like, I try really hard not to have hard feelings or to take personally the things that are happening. My therapist said this to me once, and I like really stand by it. And she just said, like, you can't compare other people's outsides to your insides. Like you can't compare what you think is happening with someone to like how you feel. And so that's how you just like don't take it personally, you know?
I love everything you're saying. Like every single thing you're saying. I'm just sitting here like, yeah. Well, and you already started talking about something I wanted to ask you. I wanted to ask if your friendships changed once you became a mom, because that's something that I don't have kids, but a lot of my really close friends that are really important to me, once they had kids, I did notice that kind of our cadence would change. And, kind of the first of my friends to have kids, she's one of my best friends. Initially, I just had to figure out what that new rhythm was, because I realized we couldn't talk as often. We, connecting in person was easier than connecting on the phone, because she could be chasing a kid or feeding a kid, and we could talk in person, but it's hard to talk on a phone when you have a screaming kid in the background. And so we had to just find our new rhythm. And I realized, like, okay, especially being a new mom, it's like I need to meet my friends where they're at. And it might look different, but the friendship isn't changing. I just need to figure out what they need. And so how was that with you? You already talked about it a little bit, but did you find, some of your friendships changing, or even having to be talking about honesty, having to be honest with some of your friends and say, I can't do that right now. What was that like?
Yeah, my friendships have changed, and I think they're going to continue to change. And I think I love that you use the word cadence. I've never used it that way, but that's the exact word. Like it's just that, like, you can't, like we used to be at this sort of regularity, and now we're at a different sort of regularity, and we both need to be okay with that in order for this friendship to continue. I had my daughter late in life, quote unquote late in life. It didn't feel late to me. It felt exactly right on time. But many of my friends already had kids. And I knew that if I wanted to stay friends with them, I went to them. And now many of them are returning the favor by coming to me. And I think that that's the give and take of this friendship, of some of these friendships. I'm also finding that, like I try hard, but what you want to talk about changes when you have a kid. And it's annoying, I'm sure, to some people, but I have this person who is the new love of my life. Like, the reason why I want to talk about them all the time is because I love them so much. They are so important to me. And I get that I find her fascinating and exciting and beautiful in ways that maybe other people don't. And so I try to be conscious of that. But yeah, I do find that my friendship changed. I feel like I've made some new friends. I've deepened my relationships with certain people who have been where I've been. Um, and, but I also think because I was a mom later in life than many of my other friends, I also recognize that this is a season because so many of them have a very different relationship with their children now. Their children don't need them as much. They're like more independent. They have a little bit more freedom. And so they're like coming back to life. And I'm like, yeah, this again, like everything is a season in our lives. And but I wouldn't trade any of it because I think for the really great relationships in my life, it's deepened them. It's kind of even like finding your partner. Like when you find your partner, your friendships change because I don't want to be I don't always want to be one-on-one with my friend. Like my partner is here, this person I love.
Yeah.
And so like I want to include them, and therefore the friendships that you have that allow your partner to be a part of it, those will flourish a little bit more than some of the ones that were like maybe more individualized. I mean, the one question too that you didn't ask me that I want to turn around and ask you guys about friendship
Ooh.
is how you feel that your success in your professional life has maybe changed or changed the friendships that you are able to have or your ability to make new friends.
I mean, it's a very good question because and we have discussed this. Like, I think it's, I don't know. I feel like there is a world where we have, it's all about, I think, figuring out truly the energy you want to, give out in terms of new friends and or fostering the friendships that you had, to not get rid of those friendships, especially because these are people who you feel like you may have come up with, and you really, they knew you when you weren't, you didn't get a big role or a big, promotion at work. And these are friends who have been through all of the, like, the trenches with you. Right. So I find I live in a household, I come from a family of people who always keep it real in terms of, like, you still need to take out the trash. You still need to do like all the things, right, that, like, you have to do. And, like, there's just in my head, it's like, there's nothing different from who I was before when I have gotten a big role than who I was prior to that. Do you know what I mean?
So I've really struggled with how busy my life has gotten, and I can't always be the friend that I want to be. I want to be there for people's birthdays. I want to be there for their weddings and their baby showers, and just to be there on a whim to go over and watch a movie. And I can't oftentimes. I am the MIA friend. And so a lot of people have just stopped asking, have stopped inviting me. And I don't take it personally. I don't get my feelings hurt. I'm actually a lot like you, Nikki. I think because I'm so bubbly and nice, people think that I get my feelings hurt easily, and I don't. I don't at all. But when I have friends, and I do have my inner circle of friends that continue to keep up with me, continue to ask me to go to dinner, and that continue to understand what my life is like with no judgment, I make a point to thank them. I thank them and say, thank you for not giving up on me, because I recognize that 9 out of 10 times I'm probably going to have to tell you no, but that 1 out of 10 times I can say yes. And that really matters to me, that you didn't give up on me. Now, are my feelings hurt for the friends that do give up on me? No, because I do understand that at some point it gets annoying that I continue to say no. But I'm super thankful for the friends that continue to call, continue to invite me. So yes, friendships did change the more that my life changed. And I think a lot of what you're saying, Nikki, it's like, I don't take it personally because I also don't know what's going on in somebody's life. And I will say, for me, a fear that I have constantly had to deal with, and a lot of this is me. This isn't what somebody else, this is like me projecting it onto someone. My biggest fear is that I'm going to disappoint someone. And it's such a massive fear that oftentimes I will choose to back off and kind of exit myself a little bit, because I don't want to disappoint them. And so I almost feel like if I set the expectation that I can't be present, then maybe I won't disappoint them. And I also don't think that that's a healthy way of dealing with something either. So I will say it's a constant struggle, and it's something that I'm constantly working on, and I don't feel that I ever have it completely figured out. If we could sum up this conversation, I love, Nikki, okay, since we're all theater kids, I love when you said seasons. And I think of the song Seasons of Love. You know, our life is just a bunch of seasons, and we never have it figured out. You're always learning. You know, we're always figuring out better ways to show our love and our friendship. And it's just part of the journey of life. We're in different seasons of our life, and in different seasons we need friendship in different ways.
Yeah, and I think that, like, remembering that friendships and personal interactions are meant to either enrich or teach, right? Like, that you can also think, like, what is the lesson that I am needing to learn about this either difficult season or moment in this friendship, or this like joyous thing? Like, if we take it that each of these interactions is meant to be something to build upon, then nothing is a failure and nothing is a loss. And this is the other thing we didn't say about friendships, like, is that they're okay to end. You know what I mean? Like, you don't like, some people, like, you have a boyfriend and then you break up with that person, or like you go to a class and then you learn the things that you're supposed to go in that class, and like you don't take that class anymore. And that, like, we should all normalize that the end of a friendship is not a failure. It is that potentially was what was meant to be there for that time, and to allow those doors to remain open, maybe. But also, maybe some friendships aren't toxic or not good for you, or take you down a path, or make you feel like a person that you don't want to be, or that friend is asking you to be someone you don't want to be anymore because that's what's comfortable for them. Like, that we can celebrate, enrich, and like hype up our friends, and then also give ourselves enough like honesty and grace to like let the other things go, and move on from them, and like put them in a scrapbook, and like and leave it behind.
My jaw just kind of dropped a little bit because I'm like, we need to dedicate a whole episode to this.
Like, totally.
Yes, and it's something that's not talked about enough.
No.
It's okay to end friendships. Oh my gosh. Okay, well, we're going to say that.
These friendships.
What?
Not this friendship.
No.
Because
in fact,
other friendships. And other friendships.
I I don't live across the street from y'all, but in our virtual Hypehood neighborhood, we are now neighbors. And Nikki, you have to come back on, and we have to talk about this sometime. So this is just the beginning.
Great. Yes, I hope
Yes.
so. This was
I-
such an amazing time.
I mean, it's Ashley. You see why I was like,
Yes.
there's no one. She is the realest as they come, and also the ultimate hype friend of it all. And it is such an honor and a gift to have Miss Nikki M. James in your life, and now in our community life, which is an incredible thing. And we are so grateful that you came today and spent a little time with us. Truly.
Thank you. Anytime. I love you guys.
Thank you, Nikki.
O-M. That's
I am obsessed with Nikki.
Isn't she the best? She's the best. I'm so excited that you all got to meet, and it really, I just love her so dearly, and I knew you would too. And she's, she's your type of friend. She's everybody's type of friend, and she was perfect for us to be able to chat with and introduce into our community, and also learn from. There's so many things. There's so many aha moments listening to her speak with the way she speaks in such a real way. That is, it's very inspiring, and also makes you want to, I'm like, oh my gosh, oh yes, I like that. I want, you kind of want to go deeper. For me, my, the one last thing for this is candor is kindness. Her candor is such kindness in such an amazing way. That's really powerful, and that I think is such a really major tool for friendship, for a real friendship.
Yes, she seems like that friend that, Michael, I feel like I'm this friend to you too, where, you're so big, I'm so big, but sometimes you can just see without even speaking. You can see in someone's eyes, maybe they're not having the best day.
Yeah.
And, the friend that can see past that and come up to you and be like, what's really going on? How are you really doing? Are you having a good day?
Yeah.
And she seems like that type of friend that will ask you sometimes those hard questions.
Yes.
And I love that, and you need that. So you are just so lucky to have a friend like Nikki. I'm lucky that I get to now call Nikki my friend because of you. And really our community. I mean, our Hypehood, to have her a part of the Hypehood, but then, the fact that we just got to introduce everyone watching here to Nikki M. James.
Yes, that's my take. Candor is kindness. Candor
is
kindness.
I love that. And my one last thing for today too is just a reminder to me, the feeling that I felt when I caught up with my friend over the phone. It was such a good feeling. And so my hype friend homework is I'm going to call a friend this week.
Yes.
Out of the
Bring
blue.
it back.
Yes.
Bring it back.
So, if you're with me here, give a friend a call. Catch up with someone over the phone. Go old school. Bring it back.
Yes.
But, this has been an incredible episode. Thank you so, so much for joining us. Once again, I'm Ashley Eckstein.
I'm Michael James Scott.
And be a hype friend. The
hype starts with
with
you.
you.